Welcome to another broadcast of Venture Capital Fund. Today's program comes to you with a kind compliment of Venture Capital, Global Capital Inc. Sorry. I want to start this program by saying, and that's discussing a little bit about the vision and mission behind Global Capital Inc. Our mission is to position our clients, employees, and strategic partners to understand, create, and leverage passive income cash flow, build multiple streams of income, leverage smart investment strategies in order to build generational and intergenerational wealth. In this program, we will teach you about financial intelligence in the commercial financial sector, financial intelligence in the investment financial sector, financial intelligence in smart capital market, last but not least is financial intelligence and sustainable livelihood. It's important for you to recognize that financial intelligence goes beyond your ability to make money and maximize your disposable income. It addresses the issue of understanding the global financial system and leveraging this intelligence to create good debt cash flow, minimize existing debt financial portfolio while you maximize financial and equity capital gain. The understanding of the commercial financial sector, the investment financial sector, and smart capital market are an important body of knowledge for you to have in the global landscape of financial intelligence. Today, I want to introduce you to a very interesting topic. We have been looking at this topic last week, but I want to us strip it apart and bring snippets of it to really help you to better understand the program itself. And that program is titled 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. In the official rollout of this program, we did say that we introduced three concepts to you. We introduced the program from the standpoint of you understanding what we call the wealth love language. And we did say that the wealth love language represents the DCM, the debt capital market, the ECM, the equity capital market, and the SCM, the smart capital market. We also looked at the leadership love language. And again, we looked at three important concepts here. We look at wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead, wealth leadership and the process of seeing beyond problems, and wealth leadership and the process of informed action. Now, when you combine these two love languages, they will put you in a position of strength to be able to make financial investment decisions that will significantly impact your life, your business life, your family life. So today, what I want us to do is to dig a little deeper into the leadership love language. So I wanted us to take the first leadership love language, which is wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead, and dig in deep and ensure that you have a much clearer understanding of what we are talking about. But just before I start that discussion, do permit me to introduce myself for those who might be joining me for the first time. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Quotes. Now, later this year, I will be publishing my new book. It's already written, and that book is titled 10X Brand Leadership, the Psychology of Doing Business. 10X Brand Leadership, the Psychology of Doing Business. Now, what is so unique about this program? This program is unique from several different standpoints. If you have a business, a brand, an idea, and even a political institution, they all represent a brand. And as the leader of these institutions, this body, you always have to ask yourself, how do you want the public to see you? How do you want your internal beneficiaries to see you? And how do you expect your beneficiaries to see you? In other words, what I'm saying, this program begins by looking at your corporate culture because your organization, regardless of if it's a government institution, a non-government organization, or a private sector, these institutions largely rise and fall based on corporate culture. So this book takes a deep dive into analyzing corporate culture, looking at best practices, and bringing those statistics to you that allows you to make an informed and educated decision as to how to build your brand out to achieve larger than life impact on your specific target market, on your internal workforce, and on the general public. Beautiful book. So I want to encourage you to subscribe to this podcast or like um, this podcast, depending on which channel you're on. I want you to share this podcast so you will be the first to get these programs that we're bringing to you on a regular basis. Now, let's talk today now about 10X Wealth Leadership Bootcamp. And what we will do, we will take a particular segment of this program from taken from wealth leadership, love language, and we'll examine it. Now, in introducing this program, I clearly established that there are a number of essential leadership quality that you want to invest the time, talent, and resources to get if you don't already have it. All right. Again, you will rise and fall on leadership. You will rise and fall based on culture. You want to ensure that you have the right leadership attributes, the right leadership characteristics. So, one of the essential leadership characteristics that you want to have is what we call the wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. You want to ensure that you have a wealth leadership mindset, and you also want to ensure that you have the ability to think ahead. Now, in this context, wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead, what are we talking about? Now, we're talking of several things, and I want us to examine them now. We are talking about home ownership. Do you wait until you're 65 and then you start thinking about home ownership? No, you should think about these things in advance. In fact, things that we do, I do as a parent, all of my kids, I already start to have this conversation with them. And I already have taken steps to ensure that we are not only talking about it, but they know what to do and they're applying the concepts towards home ownership. It's an essential part of creating wealth. So this is an important wealth creation platform that you want to think about. In fact, the wealthiest people in the world, they have real estate assets. And this is one of the first things that you want to put yourself in a position of strength to start thinking about it. All right. So the first thing that we're thinking about, do you want to think about the range of things that you want to think about here is home ownership. You also want to think about invested in higher learning, higher education. Now, you're the greatest asset the world has ever known. But if you don't invest time, talent, and resources in yourself to ensure that you become a valuable asset to yourself, to your loved ones, to your community, to your organization, to your country, to the world, you're significantly undermining your developmental opportunities and your potential to make significant contribution to the world. So you being able to think ahead of personal investment into your professional development, your educational development, it is something that you want to think about. Now, this is not only about you personally, while you is absolutely necessary and important, this also applies to you as a parent You as a parent thinking ahead of the kind of education that you want your children to be exposed to. Absolutely necessary. Now, remember the second thing I said here. You must be able to make budgetary allocation towards your personal education and academic enhancement. But in making this investment, you want to be certain that you're investing in the right type of education. I say this against the backdrop that we have seen across the world highly educated people that are working paycheck to paycheck. You don't want to fall into this category of being a highly educated person who is barely existing or struggling to exist. This is one of the reasons in our program we talk about the importance of you understanding financial intelligence. So it's absolutely necessary that as you make budgetary allocation to your personal development, that part of that budget must go, should go, must go to you bettering your understanding of how financial models operate and how you can leverage those financial models to put yourself in a position of strength. By that, I mean you want to bring yourself within 5 to 10 years to experience financial independence. These are all things that you want to put yourself in a position of strength to think ahead of it. If you don't think about it, it's not going to happen magically. You must put yourself in a position of strength to think about all these things. So we have three things so far. You're thinking about home ownership. You're thinking about investing in your personal education and academic development. You're also thinking about investing in your children college funds. You don't wait until your children are ready to go to college. Then you're going to start thinking about the cost of going to college. And if you're in that position of strength to sponsor your kids, these are things you want to make informed decisions about. You want to think ahead 5, 10, 15, 20 years before that time actually reach. You want to think ahead. So when we talk of thinking ahead, these are all the things that you want to put yourself in a position of strength to think ahead. Thinking ahead is only step one, all right? It's only step one. But remember, if you don't think it, you don't see it. If you don't see it, you're not going to be empowered to take informed action to go after it. The reason you want to think ahead is largely because you want to be clear. You want to have a clear mental picture of what is or are your future plans. The fourth thing that we can look at here is what we're going to call an emergency savings account, an emergency savers account. Can you believe this? Over 80% of the global population don't have an emergency savers account. A research that was done recently states that in the United States of America, they have less than 50% of the population that has 400 US dollars in the savings account to help them out in a crisis. People are not saving, or people simply cannot afford to save. In this program, we speak to you about the importance of saving. And when we recognize that you are not in a position of strength to save, largely because your overheads is way higher than your income, so it leaves you with zero balance sheet or a negative balance sheet, we have a team of professional financial advisors, a team of PFA, a team of personal financial advisors to work with you to help you to navigate this rough patch of your life, this rough terrain of your life. You see, what I'm trying to do here is to transfer a body of knowledge to you in financial intelligence. But I'm fully aware that it's not enough for me to just transfer this knowledge to you. You got to be more hungry, the words of Les Brown, hungry for your financial breakthrough. You have to be willing and able and committed to take action, to take informed action to achieve desired results. It's futile to have the knowledge without taking informed action to achieve desired results. So part of what I want to do is to transfer this body of knowledge to you. And throughout this program, we will talk to you about the importance of clearly identifying the things that you want to achieve, which we call wealth leadership, and the process of thinking ahead. And we will walk you through the process of seeing beyond problems and the process of taking informed action to achieve the desired results. Today, we're looking at wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. Why is it that you don't have an emergency savings account? Today, the world is faced with COVID-19, the novel coronavirus, which has affected billions of people across the world, including most of you who might be looking at this program. It's affecting you because perhaps you didn't thought about emergency savings account, or perhaps because you weren't in that position of strength to save enough to cover you for this period. Or perhaps you never thought of talking to a PFA, a professional financial advisor, or a personal financial advisor that can help you navigate this terrain. Again, you don't wait until you're in a crisis. You don't wait until you are in a pandemic, and then you start thinking, I wish I did. If I could, I would have done this. No. So thinking ahead means that you're putting all of this on your plan of action, so you know exactly what are those things that you must be thinking ahead about. You see, this is your life that we're talking about, and you have to invest in you. You got to make you your number one priority. If you don't make yourself your number one priority based on all the facts that we've seen in the world, no one will make you their number one priority. You have to invest in you. And part of investing in you is to ensure that you have the ability to think ahead of those things that are naturally designed to make your life more comfortable and more easier. How about a smart investment account? Yes. And before I come to the investment account, just let me talk a little bit more about savings account. I want to remove this falsified notion that when you save, you get rich. I'm not aware of anyone who saved to get rich. The only way you make money by saving is when you have a lot of money there, and that's when you're rich already. Savers don't make money from saving. But you're not saving because you want to make money. There are three additional reasons why you save. You put your money in a savings account. Why? For safekeeping. So any and everyone just can't get access to it and, you know, take your hard-earned savings away from you. So you put it there for safekeeping. The second reason that you put it there is it could serve as an emergency. So when you need it, you can quickly liquidate it. You have access to it. But the most important reason why you save is to take that savings and is to up level it into smart investment opportunities. That's the real reason why you save. So there's nothing wrong in saving, but there must be a game plan for saving. And in most cases, you don't have a game plan. You just put money there, you take money out. Many of you take it out so frequently that you don't even accumulate any form of interest. Not that the interest is something of great significance, but you just put it and take it out, put it and take it out, and that defeats the whole objective of saving. You want to save and accumulate enough capital so you can up level it into smart investment portfolios. We will talk a lot about smart investment portfolio as time progresses because you need to know it. In most cases, you don't know what to invest in. And in most cases, when you make an investment decision, you make a risky investment decision. And that's the last thing that you want to do. take your hard-earned savings and put it into a risky investment portfolio. So these are important things that you want to think about when you're developing your game plan that we call wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. You want to think ahead of all of these things. The last thing that we're going to look at today is your early retirement. Are you waiting until you're 65 to start thinking about early retirement when you're actually going to retire at 65? You don't do things like that. Most people, we see it, we know it, we research this, we have that information. You spend over 49 years in the workforce, blood, sweat, and tears. And guess what? You retired without owning your own home. You retired without investing in your personal educational development and the right educational development content. You invest without laying a strong foundation for your children. You weren't able to invest in their college funds and university education or give them a solid foundation. You weren't able to save enough to have that emergency account or to have your investment account. So you are exposed. This is the kind of leader that you want to be. If you are this leader today, it's necessary that you commit to take ownership of your life today to change this reality. This is the kind of leader that you want to be to yourself, to your loved ones. Come on. You owe yourself much more. You owe your loved ones much more. And all this takes is for you to make the commitment to invest the time, talent, and resources to understand this content that we are bringing to you. The first thing that you want to do is to think ahead of all of these things. Home ownership, car ownership. It might even be a business. You don't wait until you're ready to start a business and then you start saying, I want to start a business today and things are so tough. You have to recognize that everything is a process. And when you have a professional financial advisor, a personal financial advisor on your side to guide your steps, it significantly minimizes the challenges and up level the opportunity for you to be more successful in the goals that you're setting yourself. So I trust that today you understand what we are talking about when we are saying to you that part of our 10X Wealth Leadership Program is bringing you to the point where you can practically get involved in the process that we call wealth leadership and the process of thinking ahead. Today we look at things that you should think ahead about. You want to think ahead about home ownership. You want to think ahead of investing in your higher learning and academic development. You want to think ahead of, billing out your children college funds. You don't wait until they're ready to go to college and then you start thinking about it. You develop an emergency savings account. You develop a smart investment account. You develop these accounts. You think ahead of these things. All right. As we go through this program, remember, it is not just for you to think about it. It's about you ensuring that you have enough information, you have enough support network around you to take informed action to achieve it. What we know, and that's why we're going to look at this in the next topic, wealth leadership and the process of seeing beyond problems. We know this. You want your home, you want to invest in higher learning, you want to have, a smart savers account for your children college funds. You want to have a smart investment account. You want to have an early retirement fund. You want all these things and you're entitled to all these things. But guess what? You want these things, but all you will see is the barriers to your success story. You will to you achieving and attaining these things in your life. So we will walk you through two more leadership techniques that we call wealth leadership or the process of seeing beyond problems and wealth leadership in the process of taking informed action. And when we finish with you in this program, you will be able to take informed action the way that you have never done it before. And this can literally change your life for the better. You owe yourself this much. You owe your loved ones this much to be able to think ahead of the quality of life that you want to expose them to. And in thinking ahead is to be certain that you're seeing beyond the problems and you're empowered to take informed action to position them to experience a better quality of life. I trust you would have enjoyed today's program. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Quotes. Now, for 2021 and beyond, we have designed a number of unique programs just for you. As I would have said, and many of you may be familiar with what I say, while we are a pro business entity, we are also prepared and have designed programs for the business community, for the average person who wants to achieve more financially or get into business, and also for government agencies. We have designed programs that can impact the workforce and impact people across nations. Some of the programs that we have designed with the aim of achieving impact that is larger than life for you and for us are programs like the 10X Branded and Marketing Bootcamp, a very, very unique program, and every business needs to understand this. You need to understand this because you are a brand too. You must ask yourself whether you're a complementary, supplementary, or a premium brand. These programs help you to develop the right perspective for life, the right perspective on owning and developing and managing your business to take it to another level to make regional and international impact. We have other programs like you're familiar already with, 10X Branding and Marketing Bootcamp. We have also the 10X Wealth Creation and Debt Management. This is a private sector project, but it also speaks to you and home mortgage. It tells you how to create debt. So we look at good debt, we look at bad debt, we look at how the wealthy create debt and how the wealthy manage debt. Beautiful programs. And you don't want to miss out on these programs. Some of the other programs that we have developed is what we call Wealth Leadership. 10X Financial Markets Bootcamp. And you need to understand financial markets. All right. It can literally change the way you see the world around you. And it can significantly enhance your opportunity to build wealth. You see, when you can sit and talk about the commercial financing that represent the ECM, the DCM, and the SCM, it means that you're in a position of strength to at least have that body of knowledge. But there you want to empower yourself to apply that body of knowledge. When you're in that position of strength to understand trading and markets and trading and brokerage, and you can speak to the issue of asset management and SWF and a range of other financial models, it puts you in a position of strength to make informed and educated decisions that enables you to build wealth. When you're in that position of strength to speak about investment management, where you're now talking about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and hedge funds, you're talking about ETF and IRA, you're talking about index and index fund and total index funds. You're talking about these financial models that you can leverage. Now, in talking about this, it's important for you to understand those models that are high risk and those models that are safe. You want to put yourself in that position of strength where you understand this platform. You understand the various markets that are available that you can leverage your smart investment account in order to build up generational wealth. You want to know about REIT, real estate investment trust. You want to know about income performing platforms that pays you several times. It pays you in performing asset, it pays you in asset appreciation, and it gives you the opportunity to experience or leverage the equity in the asset to attain more capital for your investment opportunities. So that's a very, very unique program, 10X Financial Markets Bootcamp. We also have 10X Affiliate Marketing Bootcamp, a beautiful program where you will learn affiliate marketing and how to literally start an operation, be your own boss. You don't have to leave your job to be your own boss, but this program gives you an opportunity to identify secondary and tertiary income streams that pays you when you sleep. This is not a program in theory, it's a program also in practical, because when you finish this program, we literally position you to be your own boss, where you can start to cash flow instantly. It all depends on your leadership ability and how well you can apply the information. We have 10X, the art of the sale. You want to understand how to make the sale. This is another factor that allows you to rise and fall. It is your ability to make the sale that ultimately determines the level of impact that you're going to make on your life financially and those around you. So I'm going to stop here for today. Um, I trust that you find the program interesting. I want to encourage you again to like, subscribe, and share this program within your network. In 2021 and beyond, we want to reach as much people as possible, and we are humbly asking you to join us in this journey to get the word out. Remember, this is a period of COVID-19, so I want to encourage you to be safe, protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and protect those around you. I also want to encourage you to look out for my new book, 10X Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Business. A beautiful book. All right, be blessed, be safe, and see you